Well, welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary friends. Are you ready for a little bit of musical comedy good time? I said, are you ready for some musical comedy good time? Then please welcome Andrew McClelland! Hello, good evening one and all. Welcome to this, the final Wednesday of the Comedy Festival. Traditionally, the most difficult night of the entire festival. And yet you, dear brave friends, have come for comedy this evening. Give yourselves a cheer. Woo! Are you ready for fun? Are you ready for excitement? Are you ready for musical pedantry? Oh, because you're going to receive it. Oh, yes, indeed. From me, but from you as well. Traditionally, my audience is the most musically pedantic of all the festival. By the way, I'm just, it's not that I'm out of breath here. It's just a mere enthusiasm I have for the music that sometimes manifests itself as asthma. So please not judge. Now, that song was, of course, I Want You Back by the Jackson 5. It's a great song to start any upbeat mixtape, and when a song like that comes on, I can't not dance. And yes, that sentence does make sense. I don't not love a double negative. All right. Now tonight, dear friends and compatriots, I've put together a mixtape of 8 wonderful tracks, especially for each of you. Oh no, it's my pleasure. It used to be a mixtape of 10 tracks, but we found that we had to cut it down because we only had a C60 as opposed to a C90. All right, a joke which worked far better when I first did this show in 2006. But I should explain, on cassette tapes, the 60 or the 90 stood for how many minutes it went for, and the C stood for cassette. 2006 was a simpler time. But yes, indeed, a lot has changed. This is a remount somewhat, but I've changed an awful lot of the show as well, more than half, in fact, because the world has changed. You know, for example, in 2006, you still had to buy music in hard copy, CD, LP, or cassette, or else steal it from the mysterious Napster, whoever they were. In 2006, you could still smoke in venues as we performed our shows. I was constantly fighting through a thickening fog and had to constantly toot a foghorn just so the audience knew which direction to face in. In 2006, we thought that the President of the United States was the worst president of all time. So, not everything changes, my friends. But yes, indeed, it's a pleasure to perform this for all of you. That song, I Want You Back, is soul music. I love soul music. I think it's the best dance music of all time. Who here likes to dance? Yes, some of us, all right. No, that's good. That's a fine enough ratio. I understand some people don't like to dance. That's fine. Some people, I think they can't dance. Now, that isn't true. Everybody can dance. I'm going to let you in on the little secret, because there is one. The secret to having a good time or looking like having a good time dancing is just a bit of a smile. Honestly, because if you do this dance without a smile... well, it just looks a bit conceited, doesn't it, eh? We're going to try that same dance with a bit of a grin. Who's that cool guy? It's noted comedian Andrew McClelland. And this even works if you're trying to sexy it all up at the R&B club, you know, getting into the whole bump and grind, doing the whole oh yeah, oh yeah, boy / girl / gender fluid friend. Right, it's no good. But if you do that same dance with a bit of a smile, actually, it's just as creepy, don't worry. Of course, it's not all fun and games out on the dance floor. I've had some hard times out there. I was once kicked out of a nightclub in Bendigo for dangerous dancing. It were a dark and stormy Bendigo night. And I decided to go out dancing because I just had a near-death experience. I just nearly drowned in a spa bath by falling asleep whilst reading Moby Dick and drinking port. The silent killer, my friends. Oh, will they ever catch you, white whale? So I decided to go out dancing. Now, when I hit that Bendigo nightclub dance floor, Stevie Wonder's Superstition came on. And I'm sure that all of you know, just as well as I do, that superstition calls for nay. Superstition demands a scissor kick. You know what I'm talking about? A little bit of very superstitious. Wow! The writing's on the wall. I call that bit at the end the escalator. And I didn't do my warm-ups before the show. Ow! It really hurts. Ow! Now, apparently, that scissor kick was dangerous dancing. Also, the bouncer told me he scissor kicked me out the door. He thought he'd won, but no. There was a karaoke competition on at the Irish pub across the road. I sung Kate Bush's Wuthering Heights. Heathcliff, it's me, I'm Kathy, I'll come home. So go home. All right. I came second place and I won a slab of vodka cruises. Yeah! Woo! Can't beat me. Ooh, pine lime flavour. All the deliciousness of lime mixed in with the heady scent, flavour and tannins of treated pine wood. Oh, just put that one there. I've done improv for 15 years, so I know where to put it. Because a lot of comedians, when they improvise a prop, they're just like, oh, I've got a hot dog, nom, 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 oh, it's gone. Not me, it's right here. Dink. Oh, no, I knocked it over. Oh, but a dog's looking it up. Hooray. Don't get drunk, Poochie. All right. Right, soul music. Yes, soul music. Now, as I say, I love it. Best dance music. But even though soul is so great to dance to, got so many upbeat tunes, if you listen to the lyrics, they're often extremely depressing. Like in I Want You Back, the lyrics are, every street you walk down, I leave tear stains on the ground. Following the girl I didn't even want to round, but now that I see you in his arms, I want you back. They're very insightful lyrics for a 7-year-old Michael Jackson. I don't know how he did so well. And that's all we're going to talk about with Michael Jackson, by the way. Just finish. He never did anything after the Jackson 5, I don't think, so it's a shame. He was very promising, but never did anything else. Oh well. But soul music's full of examples of that. Great rockin' song, depressing lyrics. Songs like Tears of a Clown, Same Old Song, This Old Heart of Mine, You Keep Me Hanging On, Where Did Our Love Go? Or indeed, I'm So Goddamn Funky, I'm Gonna Kill Myself, by Mr. Andrew McClelland. Oh, baby, ever since you left me, I've been sit down and just can't take it. Oh, baby, ain't it funny? How quickly love turns to hate, just gonna kill myself. Yeah! That's right, you heard me now. I want to kill myself. Yeah! Come on, baby, let's get down. Can you hear that sound, honey? It's the birds of prey, they're circling. Oh, I've been taking medication, baby, but it ain't working. Won't you take me to the bridge? Why? Because I'm going to jump off of it. I'm going to kill myself. Soul music, huh? Woo. All right, track 2, my friends, is Such Great Heights by the Postal Service. Who knows it? All right, good, a good amount. I love it. Electronic music, great lyrics coming together. And indie clubs, I would dance to it like this.
I'm thinking it's this time, with the freckles in our eyes, our mirror images, and when we kiss, they're perfectly alive.
Thank you. Oh, delicious. Now, it really is the combination of hydrogen and oxygen that makes water so superb. Water, get some today. Sorry, I'm sponsored by tap water, so Now, those lyrics to that song just then, such great heist by the Postal Service. The lyrics were, I am thinking it's a sign that the freckles in our eyes are mirror images, and when we kiss, they're perfectly aligned. Oh, doesn't it just make your heart melt? Isn't it superb? And it's lyrics like that make this song perfect to put on a mixtape for someone you're trying to get to go out with you. Now, I'm going to ask for a little bit of volunteering here, but don't you worry. I'm a very gentle person when it comes to this. I just ask for volunteers. We have a little chat, and it's all nice. If you put your hand up, I'm not going to be like, hey, where'd you get your shirt from? The Dickhead Factory, woo! Yeah, woo! We're just going to have a good time. So, who here has received a mixtape or a CD or a streamable playlist for the youngies or a mixed 8-track for the oldies? Or a mixed wax cylinder for the deadies, from someone trying to pick them up. Oh, yes, excellent. Hello, what's your name? Naomi. Hello, a round of applause for Naomi, friends. Hello, Naomi. What format was this in?
Cassette tape when I was in high school.
Oh, nice, all right. Nothing like a cassette. Magnets on a strip, eh? Whoa, what music. Did it work? Did you get together with this person? Oh, no! Oh! Tell me one of the songs on it was. He ain't heavy, he's my brother.
Okay. 1927.
You said okay like you're really going to lay some knowledge on me.
1927, that's when I think of you. And it's actually my ultimate favourite band, but not because of him.
Oh, right. So he made the perfect mixtape, but he couldn't have none of that because you wanted the bro.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The only 1927 song I know is the older, if I could paint, I'd paint a portrait of you, an ocean that's better, but you love my brother. Are you a big 1927 fan? Great year, absolutely. Pre the Depression, the stock market hadn't crashed. What a great year, and what a great band. Well, I'm sorry it didn't work out. That's a real shame.
He's gay now anyway.
He's gay. You know he was probably gay then as well. Great, thank you so much. Delightful to speak to you, Naomi. It can't always work as well. One of the other cassettes we had the other night was not so much a mix, actually. It was just one song over and over again, and it didn't work either, because the song that was repeated on that cassette was Closer by 9 Inch Nails. For those of you who don't know, that's the one. It's the one that goes, I wanna fuck you like an animal. I mean, it's hardly subtle. Well, I want to take you back now to the golden age of the mixtape. From 1975 to 2000, the age of the cassette tape. Suddenly, the common folk, you, could create compilations of recorded music. And everyone was getting two ghetto blasters next to each other, close on the floor, pressing play on one, on a copy of Icehouse's Electric Blue. Seen your Roundhouse, Naomi? Damn right. And play record on another one, on a copy of their younger sister's How Bizarre Cassingle. How bizarre, how bizarre. You make sure the little holes are covered up with sticky tape so that it could indeed be recorded over. And then you tiptoe out of the room, hoping against hope your mum wouldn't walk in and ruin the recording by going like, I've got your Jimmy Jams, Iron Love, and like, Mum, they'll never go out with me now they know I've got Iron Jimmy Jams. It's going to be on the tape. They are toasty warm though, thanks. If you're quite good at it, you'll learn to use pause records so there are clunky clicking sounds between the tracks on the tape. And if you're quite rich, you might have a 2-tape deck ghetto blaster featuring high-speed dubbing. Then you could create mixtapes en masse and pick up to 3 people every weekend. Hot. Now, of course, you don't just have to make mixes for romance. You can make mixes for any topic you like. Topics that I've made myself include songs to surprise other cars driving very slowly down Chapel Street on a Saturday night. Which just has lots of Sufjan Stevens and Belle and Sebastian and Simon & Garfunkel on that, so that, as the cars drive along with just to the edge of hearing, almost imperceptibly, they hear, "Hello, darkness, my old friend." What is that music? It's making me feel feelings. It's opened a void in my heart that this souped-up automobile cannot fill. Other mixes I've made include songs that artists have asked Clive Palmer not to use in his campaign. It's terribly long, that one. And also songs to water hydrangeas to, which I made for my mum. She likes hydrangea, and she only likes one song. I've asked only one song in all songs, and that song is Green Sleeves. So it's just that a lot. Can you imagine an entire childhood of just hearing do 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 do? It's like, Mum, it's very triggering. It makes me want an ice cream so much. Mum, please play a different song. Do 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 do. But the romantic mixtape is the most common, and I've put together just a few basic rules for when making that romantic mixtape for that special someone. Rule number 1 for a romantic mixtape: no death metal. Unless you met that person at a death metal gig. And this is highly unlikely if the person you're trying to woo is attractive. Sorry, it's the most judgmental joke in the show. Right, rule number 2, no Barry White, Marvin Gaye or early Al Green. Nothing too sexy for too early. You don't want when I get that feeling, I want sexual healing. You also don't want that one by Little John and the East Side Boys, which goes from the windows to the walls, till sweat drop down my balls. You should wait until at least the 3rd date before describing how warm one's balls have become. By the same token, for the ladies, perhaps don't put on my neck, my back, lick my pussy and my crack. My neck, my back, lick my pussy and my crack. First you gotta put your neck into it. Don't stop, just do it, then you roll your tongue from the back up to the front, then you lick it all till it shake and come inward. Make sure I keep busting nuts inward, all over your face and stuff. The best dick comes from a thug. The best dick is thick and long. Thank you. Again, it's not very subtle, that one. So perhaps avoided early on. All right, now, next. Okay, nothing off any of these albums. These albums being the wackiest races on record. Maybe wacky, but it's not romantic. We know it's wacky because I spell wacky with 2 Ks. Hey, that's wacky. Next, nothing from Keep Smiling with Daryl and Ozzy. No, it's quite charming. I keep this one because it's a Gatefold special edition. Ooh. I love you, Ozzy. I love you too, Daryl. Right, next. Definitely nothing from the album Sinful Rugby Songs. I know, you could make stuff like this in the mid-70s. Firstly, let's go over the fact that it is horrendous, obviously. It says $10 there. No, I found it on a street corner. Also, I don't know much about rugby, but I think that's an illegal move, sweeping the leg and pulling down the pants. I don't know. But if you're looking at that thinking, you know what, I'm quite interested in sinful rugby songs, but I'm not sure if there's enough semi-erotic photographs of people playing rugby in the 70s for me. Well, fret not, my friends, because there's an entire gallery on the back. Woo! And lastly, use as many songs as you would like from Mrs. Mills. What a wonderful party! And it is a wonderful monkey party. And the reason I love this one in particular is for this move. Come to my house, I'll do it for you. Hello, everybody! It's me, your old friend, Mrs. Mills. Oh, come to my monkey party! And also I read this on the back just the other day, recorded in 1971 at Abbey Road Studios. It's like Beatles broke up in 1970, like, we need a new hit machine. Now the Beatles are gone. Get in, Mrs. Mills! Come on! Oh, superb. All right. Now, next, rule number 5. You might be tempted to record a personal message onto the cassette using your Ghetto Blaster's microphone record function. Don't. Next, artwork. Get yourself a ballpoint pen and use all 4 colours, right? But draw whatever you like, but don't draw a portrait of the object of your affection. Unless their skin is red, blue and green, it will be unflattering. And if their skin is those colours, you're dating a zombie. And that's just side A. Side B, we move on to the rules of track selection. Firstly, put only songs that you love on the tape. Don't be a suck. If they don't respect some of your track selection, then they won't respect you. As of course, unless you don't want them to respect you. You kinky devils. Next, put an old school song on there. By which I mean something from the 50s and 60s or something, and not an old school song, you know. I'm not going to put Hurrick Hurrah from the Xavier College back catalogue onto the thing. Even though it is quite jaunty. All right, I'll sing you some. Hurrick Hurrah, Hurrick Hurrick Hurrah, the battle may be hot, but whether 'tis or not, it matters not a jot to sons of Xavier. No. Although I did put that one on my compilation, Songs to Woo Presbyterian Ladies at a Regatta by. Next, put something sad on the tape. Something that shows that you understand that love is a double-edged sword, the edge of pleasure and the edge of pain. And something with a whole attitude of, hey, don't get too close to me, babe. Yeah, I'm broken, yeah. I'm dangerous, yeah. I waste whole cigarettes, yeah. I mean, sure, you can have me, but only to borrow, never to keep. I'm a road runner, baby, yeah. An echidna. Yeah, it's all right. Who's that hot guy who breaks for Australian fauna? Ooh. It's noted comedian Andrew McClelland. All right. And lastly, put something beautiful on the tape. Something that you love that they may not know yet, but if they hear it, they are bound to love. That's why I chose this song, Such Great Heights, by the Postal Service. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And if you don't agree, well, I'm sorry, then we just can't be together. Because all these songs on tonight's mixtape all follow these very rules I've just laid down. Me putting this mixtape together is my attempt to woo you, the audience, collectively, and to make you like me as a performer. It's all I've ever desired. Please do like me and also comment me and subscribe to me. Over at DJ Andrew McClelland on Instagram. All right, thank you very much. Track 3!
I dreaded sunny days, so I'll meet you at the cemetery gates. Keats and Yates are on your side. I dreaded sunny days, so I'll meet you at the cemetery gates. Keats and Yates are on your side. Wild is on mine.
All right, that Cemetery Gates by the Smiths. Who knows who the Smiths are? All right, good. About most of us. That's great. Okay, the Smiths are my favourite band of all time ever. And happily, nothing has happened since 2006 to make me worry about their lead singer Morrissey in the least at all. For you. So, I used to get bullied quite a lot at high school. I know, me. Can you believe it? Outrageous. I used to get bullied a lot because I suppose I was as enthusiastic and fabulous as I am today. And back in the late 90s, at high schools, we still had this thing called homophobia, which is so strange. So if you were, a little bit out there, you were often targeted. Happily, since then, marriage equality has passed and homophobia doesn't exist anymore. Hurrah. And it's not like I didn't try to fit in. I tried quite hard. I was quite good at sports. I became captain of the school's lawn bowls B team. Oh yes, I was a jock, absolutely. Ooh. And I tried other ways to fit in too. I joined the Shortwave Radio Club. I joined 2 tipping competitions, footy and cow. I even poked that dead possum with a stick. I was like, am I a man? I even won an award for the school with a cheeky little dramatic monologue I wrote based on the Friar's Tale from Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. I'll do just a little of it now, just to demonstrate. Anon. But still, nothing. I couldn't fit in with the male stereotype that was de rigueur at my school, especially by using such patently fancy boy words as de rigueur. I was different, so what could I do? Teenage rebel. And there's lots of types of teenage rebellion you can go with, you know, but really goth and punk and gangster rap, none of them really appealed to me. Maybe some of the frilly clothes of goth, but that was about it. Certainly not the very casual sportswear of gangster rap. It's not my style. So I took my cue from fancy boy indie band The Smiths. And the Smiths were wonderfully different at the time. Morrissey, their lead singer, was a beautiful icon of gentle rebellion, a figure with seemingly great empathy, a magnificent, beautiful hair as well. He writes such gentle lyrics. Then you had Johnny Marr, the lead guitarist, who's recognised as one of the greatest rock guitarists in the world. Play anything from upbeat rock to melancholy soft wonders. Again, wonderfully dressed as well, really cool looking dude. Then you had Mike Joyce and Andy Rourke, the drummer and the bassist, and they were both competent musicians. It was a heck of a combo. And their songs stood out as quite wonderful, but also quite pretentious at the time. That song, Cemetery Gates, it talks about Keats and Yeats and Wilde. It elevates literature and art. It was pretentious, and I would take my cue from those songs to be utterly pretentious. I started swatting about at school on casual clothes days in satin shirts with bunches of daffodils. I'd read romantic poetry, and I would flounce. Oh boy, would I flounce from hither, to yon. I'm sorry, Mr. Hardwick, I can't do PE today. I've got a note from my mum. Now that's good flouncing. The Smiths made me realise that I didn't have to worry what others thought of me, that I could be different. And to this day, Morrissey, the lead singer, doesn't worry what other people think of him at all, nor what his fans think of him either. Which is why in the last few years, Morrissey has gone a little, right-wing anti-immigration nutbag. And it started slowly, right? It started just in 2009 at Coachella. He was on stage and he said, I can smell burning meat. I do hope it's human. And, you know, it's quite a violent statement for him, but you're thinking, it's because he's such a passionate vegan. He cares about animals that much. But then a few years later, he went to Southeast Asia and he was concerned about how Chinese people treated animals, supposedly. And then he called the Chinese a subspecies. And, you could think, well, a really badly worded Moz, but it's coming from a vegan perspective. But, dear friends, you can only justify racism from a vegan perspective for so long. You know? And then, of course, in 2013, he released his album, The Wackiest Races on Record. That was terribly awkward. It's the one that had that song that went, I would go out tonight, but the taxi drivers are all foreigners. And I got to the point where I just had to let Morrissey go, absolutely. However, I could still listen to his early stuff. I justify it by thinking, in the early days, he was still a good guy. The same with Michael Jackson. I listened to their early stuff, their first band, and the rest of it doesn't exist, and my conscience is saved. For you. Woo! Hit it, Andrew!
Say, little bitch, you can fuck with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the school, I can get them both, I don't wanna choose. And I'm quick, cut a nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look,
track 4, my friend,
now, I make money move.
is, of course, Bodak Yellow by Cardi B. I can't help but feel that you're a bit of a fan. You're enjoying a little bit of Cardi B down there? Good. I really enjoyed it as well. So So for this track in 2006 was Gold Digger by Kanye West, which at the time was quite contemporary, was doing very well. But since then, Kanye West has gone a little, how you say, right-wing, Trump-loving nutbag. And I wanted to change it up because I wanted something hip-hop, something contemporary, and I wanted something which was by a woman, because in the original version of this show in 2006, I didn't realise that none of the tracks on the main list were actually by women. Oh no, it's a simpler, more sexist time back then. And the thing is, I wasn't intentionally being sexist, right? I was just being sexist. So I swapped this one in. As I said, it did really well on the charts. And as one gets older, it's not as if you're exactly dying, although you are. But certain paths get crossed off to you in life. You know, you'll never be a professional footballer, you'll never be an astronaut, and you'll never understand music in the charts ever again. And that's A-okay. You know, the charts, they're just a popularity contest. Avatar is the highest grossing movie of all time. So if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Democracy doesn't work. But yeah, this did very well in the charts. And right now, I've listened to the charts quite a bit. They're very slow. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, if you're keeping across it. Like, even just listening to the Hottest 100, which isn't strictly chart music, it's so slow. And right now, one of the most popular genres, it's had a lot of number ones in its style, is that mumblecore R&B style. Is started by Drake, popularised by like Post Malone and Khalid. It sounds like someone waking up after a big night's drinking. Like it's all... God's plan. God's plan. And it's getting to the point where, like, the next hit is just going to be someone waking up, yawning and going to the toilet. You know, it's just going to be... Wait for the drop. Post Malone does it again. It is also slow. It's about 80 BPM, and I don't really understand it. When I'm listening to the stuff in the charts, I kind of think, come on, millennials, where's the hard and fast punky guitars? You know, where's the aggressive gangster rapping? Come on. Guys, show some attitude. Kurt Cobain didn't die so that you could sit at home drinking cordial. And I don't know why it's so boring, but when I complain about millennials like this, I'm kind of allowed to, because contrary to appearances, I actually am a millennial. I am. I snuck in by 16 days. And you know, we millennials, we've got our fingers on the contemporary pulse. Oh yeah, we know what's going on. So when I complain about the slow music, it's not because I'm out of touch or jealous at my lost youth. It's just because I know what's going on. I'm extremely dope and fly and also entirely lit. Thank you. Back to Bodak Yellow, Cardi B. It does bring a lot of attitude to the charts. It's got a lot to it. She is a great rapper. And when I was a kid, I used to be scared that I was racist because I didn't like hip-hop. But then I realised it wasn't all hip-hop I disliked. I mean, I really do quite like Vanilla Ice and the Beastie Boys and Macklemore and Eminem. No, but seriously, like, there is obviously a lot of great hip-hop out there, stuff that's full of attitude, politically fascinating, or stuff that's just great fun. And Cardi B's track, it takes the usual trajectory of hip-hop, right? It starts talking about her living in poverty, her coming up, working through an abusive relationship, working as a stripper to sort of get up there, and then she starts bragging about how well she's doing now. Bodak Yellow is referring to her very expensive shoes, and it's very common in hip-hop to talk about just how well you're doing or how great you are. This goes back to all the way to 70s hip-hop. Possibly the height of this sort of bragging is on Kanye West's track, I Am a God, where he raps, I am a god, so get me my damn croissants. I am a god, I am a god, I am a god. You know, he's not holding much back there. But also sometimes it doesn't work in hip-hop, like Mims. Mims only ever got to number 30 in this country. He never really had a hit. But that didn't stop him from releasing the track that goes...
This is why I'm hot. 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 I'm hot cause I'm fly. You ain't cause you not. This is why I'm hot. I'm hot cause I'm fly. You ain't cause you not. This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot.
And he never explains why he's hot! Oh, it's so infuriating! This is why... The reason Mims is hot is because he is hot. And the reason you are not hot is because you are not hot. It's so childish. This is why I'm hot. I'm hot because I'm cool. You're not cool. And he just never defines his terms. He would write the worst dictionary. Infuriating. Dictionary definition. Something which is infuriating. See, this is why I'm hot. But yeah, Bodo Kilo does bring an awful lot to the charts. Cardi B is well within her rights to be able to talk about how well she's doing. When that song first came out, I didn't really like it, but then I heard it again and again and again. Started really getting into me. And that's the thing about the charts. Like, if you hear the same song again and again, you will start to like it. And that's A-OK. Like with the Cannibal Corpse song, I Come Blood. At first I didn't like it. But then I heard it again and again because I put it in this show. And now, like when I'm listening to it, like I listen to the really hard guitars and the great driving drums and the heavy vocals, and I like it so much that I feel like I am the one who's coming blood. And it's the same with Bodo Kilo, my friends. I've heard it so much, I've really started to love it. You know, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Democracy just works! Yeah!
But after all is said and done, you're gonna be the lonely one. Oh, do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough. No.
All right, track 5. Thank you. Delightful. Well, that was, of course, Cher's Believe. My friends, do you believe in Lerf after Lerv? Don't we all? Cher is the only artist to have had a number 1 in every decade since the 60s, although she hasn't had one yet in the 2010s, so she better go to hurry on. Come on, Cher. Some of you may not be able to tell this from my appearance, but my other job is work as a nightclub DJ. And the most wonderful, biggest gigs I did recently were supporting Cher on her 2018 Australia-New Zealand tour. It was wonderful. When I first got the call, I must say I was moonstruck. Although obviously if I had been asked to tour with AC/DC, I would have been... Yeah, that's a good one, excellent. Some audiences don't get it, and they're like... TNT? No. Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. When I first got the call, I was performing in Edinburgh at the Fringe Festival there to about 15 people a night, which is tradition. And when I first got that call, they were asking, did I want to DJ with Cher? Yes. How much did I want to get paid? And suddenly my mind was filled with riches, you know. I was thinking a house deposit, an electric car, a golden shoehorn. Then they said, well, actually, we're looking at some other DJs as well and how low you're willing to go. And I instantly recalibrated my expectations. A tank of petrol, a week's rent, a shoe. I agreed to go very low indeed, and I ended up paying Cher $12.50 a night to perform. Oddly enough, she insisted on collecting it every night from the dressing room personally. She'd sort of come in and I'll just get into my Cher impersonation. Do you believe if I could turn gypsies, trimsies... Okay, I've got it. Hey, Andrew, it's Cher here, ready to collect my $12.50. Like, Cher, I've only got 12 tonight, just 12. Oh, well, there's always other DJs I could get on. No, wait. Wait, I've got a $20 note here as well. Is that okay, Cher? I could take a 20. Does the great diva have change? I said I could take a 20, Andrew. Oh, very well. There you are, Cher. And what do you believe in, Andrew? I believe in life after love. Well, fucking do you? Yes, Cher, yes. And scene. Thank you. Ooh. My dear friends, obviously an exaggeration for the purposes of comedy. Cher was wonderful and nothing but wonderful to me. Very kind indeed. But yes, obviously I was willing to go very low. But they were the biggest shows I've ever done. Suddenly I was performing in front of 17,000 people a night, just slightly more than there are in here. And how did it go? Well, to set the scene, there's thousands of people in there. They've all paid about $250 or so on average a ticket. It's the first time Cher's toured in 20 years. Everybody's filled with anticipation. They bought the tickets 6 months ago. They've been sitting there for quite a while. And suddenly I come out on stage in a three-piece suit, dancing around. They don't know who I am, other than they didn't know they were paying for this as well. I get on the mic and I'm like, hello, I'm DJ Andrew McClelland. And suddenly I wish I'd picked a cooler DJ name. Like, I'm DJ Crackmaster Smack. Boo, 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 boo. And I'm like, I play fortnightly at the Gasometer Hotel in Collingwood. Yeah. Actually, it's monthly now. Anyway, who likes Hanson? And how did it go? Well, they fucking loved me. It turns out if you play a bunch of Dolly Parton and Gloria Gaynor to baby boomers and gay men, they will start dancing in the aisles. We had so much fun. Oh my goodness, it was so much fun. And I put my social media details up on the big screen and I started getting messages from random strangers. The first kind of message was from gay men who were offering to bone me. And I was getting 1 or 2 of those a night, which was very flattering. But then I realised 1 or 2 out of 17,000 gay men is a very low number indeed. Come on, up your game, McClelland, come on! Now, the other kind of message I got was reviews of my performance. And to about every 40 good ones, I'd get one bad one. Being a performer, I would focus on the bad one, and it broke me. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, excellent, Naomi. I'm sure it's saved in my Facebook memories, no shadow of a doubt. The thing is, as you would know, I'm not a technical DJ, right? I'm not so much a baby got I'm more just man, I feel like a woman. Hey, I just met you and this is crazy. Like, I just play 2 songs next to each other. I cut some bits out, I beat match them a bit, but I'm not a technical DJ. And because I don't mix the songs in and out technically, some people on Twitter think that means I should kill myself. So I got a few emails like that, and I'm just going to read one of them out. They usually came from other DJs, and this fella starts... All right. Hello, I'm not jealous. Which is normally what I'm not when I write long messages to strangers on the internet. I'm not jealous, but I have to say that your DJing at Cher last night was just awful. Now, I would have said it was so awful I couldn't believe it, but we can't all be wordsmiths. I have been a professional DJ for 15 years, from mega clubs to scout halls. Now, I would have put those two the other way round, because it's not a trajectory that fills you with confidence, is it? But anyway, what you do is not DJing. It was a shit. Either he was Italian, or that's a typo, I don't know. It was a shit. I don't know. You might be a good performer, and the crowd didn't know any better. Oh, he's right, I am a good performer. And the chumps who enjoy my shows. I love you all. But you talked right over the lyrics, which DJs should never do, and sometimes your BPMs were right off. Technically, he is correct. Sometimes my BPMs are a bit off. But I don't go and complain at his Scout Jamboree. I'm not jealous, but you are shit and should quit and probably die. And then he wrote, save the DJing for the real DJs. I mean, he really chucked in that you should probably die right at the end. I wonder if he was like, oh, I'm a troll. I've got to throw it in. I'm nearly at the end. Now, of course, you should never respond to this, but I did draft something up just in case. I wrote to him, thank you so much for your criticisms. I shall remember them when I think about the 14 times I DJ'd for Cher. Furthermore, I'll remember how you are not jealous twice. I really appreciate you taking the time to not be jealous and also to not DJ for Cher. Yours sincerely, the DJ for Cher. But Cher was amazing. I met her a few times. She's 72 years old, which is the same age as my mum, but I only called her mum once. She sang, we met a few times, hung out. She sang me happy birthday one day, even though it wasn't my birthday, but I did tell her it was, so fair. And she also held my hand one time, just after I'd come off stage, and she was like, oh, hey, Andrew, you're shaking. Why are your hands shaking? And I was like, well, partly because I'm so nervous about how good my impersonation of you is. No, I said, I'm shaking because I've just come off stage. I'm full of energy. But I was shaking because Cher was holding my freaking hand. It was so good. Now, I have a friend, he's about 40, and he thinks that his life has peaked and it's all downhill from here. But I can say now that having gotten a call completely out of the blue to ask if I wanted to DJ with Cher, I now know that my life has definitely peaked. And it can't get any better from here. But I also wonder if, at 72, having performed with me, Cher's life has peaked as well. Adding an extra poignancy to when she sings, if I could turn back time. All right, hit it, Andrew! Track 6, the final countdown! By the way, when I call that hit it Andrew and so on, my tech is named Andrew. It's not me talking to myself in third person. In fact, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Andrew! Good stuff. So, the final countdown by Europe is the best song about a space voyage to Venus ever written. Even better than Boney M's Night Flight to Venus. Oh, yes. Not true? Oh, well, fair enough. You know, musical taste is subjective, and we'll be talking about that soon enough. But nice to know there's a Boney M aficionado amongst you. Normally the people who love Boney M just laugh at that, but no, you took it to the next level, and I appreciate that pedantry. Oh. By the way, I'm just pointing generally. I have no idea who actually said anything back there. It's hair metal, right? The prettiest and nanciest of all the metal genres. We're talking about tight lycra pants and vests with chest hair coming out. Massive hair, obviously teased to the nth degree. Bands like Warrant and Europe and Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses to a degree. Bands who were full-on, almost aggressively heterosexual, but at the same time were more flamboyant than the cast of RuPaul's Drag Race. And what I love about metal is its variety, because this can be metal, and this can also be metal. Let's try that again, because this can be metal, and this can also be metal. I'm so evil! I can't wait to move out of home! And that's the thing, metal can be so diverse that I was once in a metal band myself. We were folk metal, which is a real genre, it is, and we were called Cassandra's Myth. Much to the chagrin of one of the girls at my high school, Cassandra Smith. Anyway. But that's the thing, metal is so diverse. And when I say metal is diverse, I mean musically, obviously not by race or gender, because metal is pretty darn white male. But there's so many different genres and styles. You know, there's trad metal coming out of the heavier elements of hippie rock, but with less songs about flower power and more songs about Golgotha, the hill of skulls. Then you've got death metal, like we just had, with its, themes of mutilation and destruction, its driving guitars and drums, and its guttural vocals that sound like an angry cookie monster. You know, it's all C is for cookie, which I crushed up in my mouth. The crumbs, they went everywhere. It's almost as if I didn't swallow any at all. Then you've got satanic black metal with its themes of the beast and the pit, and vocalists that sound like a castrati cookie monster. It's all C is for Satan if you simply cannot spell. Then you've got epic metal with its themes of elves and wizards and buxom lady warriors. Then you've got progressive metal with its themes of pay equality and gender-neutral bathrooms. You've got melodic metal, which features melody. Ooh. You've got sludge metal, featuring, of course, filthy, sort of sludgy guitars. You've got new wave of British heavy metal, doomcore, hardcore, grindcore. There's pop metal, art metal, speed metal, non-ferrous metal. It's all metal! And it's running out the door. So before you fob off metal and black T-shirt wearing hordes, just remember that you quite like the final countdown, because in the end, there's a metal for everyone. Now, our next track, the second last, is the song First Breath After a Coma by the band Explosions in the Sky. So I fell in love once, and it was great. And we went out for 2 years, and then we broke up. And I found myself in the unfortunate position of still being in love with her on the day that she married another man. Oh. Well, it is true, but anyway. No, I'm going, no, it's good. There's humour in all things, of course. Silver linings, my friend, exactly. No, it was look, obviously it was hard at the time. I mean, he was a doctor and she was a doctor as well. I mean, you gotta have a lot of kids to justify that sort of union. I mean, how much money do they want to have, Doctor, comedian, that makes a lot of sense. Doctor, yeah. The thing is, he was quite a nice guy, but that was no good to me. What was I meant to do with that? I wanted to make fun of him, and my jealousy, but he was so nice I really couldn't. The best I could do was make fun of how nice he was, which is all very, oh, Andrew, I'd like to have lunch with you today, but I'm far too busy looking after children with pleurisy and lactose intolerance. My heart bleeds for everyone who comes through my practice at which I charge relatively little. See, disgusting. Now, on her wedding day, I wanted to give her a present. I wanted to give her something which said that I still cared about her, I would always care about her, and I still loved her, but I wasn't crazy. Important. And so I still wished her and her marriage well. Now, I didn't have any songs with those specific lyrics. But then I listened to this. Because an instrumental, right, a truly beautiful instrumental, which I think this is, can say so much to anyone who's willing to listen. And a song without lyrics can mean anything to the listener. Can evoke the joy of Hand in Hand, or the breaking of a well-worn heart. The emptiness after a hurricane. or a beautiful sunset in a cold breeze. A child riding a bicycle into a hedge, falling off crying. The trickle and then explosion of emotion in a breakdown. That holiday in Echuca. That holiday in Echuca when Mum got chased by an emu through the wildlife reserve. And I had to fight it off with an esky lid. That game of Monopoly you played on a summer holiday, and it's gone on for 5 days now, and you think, well, you might as well finish the game of Monopoly. I've got a hotel on Pall Mall. But you can't finish that game of Monopoly because your angry Uncle Nev has flipped the board over. That faint whoosh of air that you hear when you pull the ring pull on a tin of spaghetti. Spaghetti with cheesy tomato sauce. Those times you drop your phone and you think, oh no, I might have cracked the screen, and you pick it up and oh good, you haven't cracked the screen. But then you go to have a look at the phone in some different light, on a different angle, and it turns out you have cracked the screen a bit. Those times you leave the ice cream out of the freezer and it melts and you think, well that's okay, it's ice cream, I'll just refreeze it and have it later. But when you go back to have that refrozen ice cream later, the consistency's just not the same! The first breath after a coma. And my friends, what I didn't tell you about the husband was when I asked him what kind of music he liked, he just said, oh yeah, I kind of like, a bit of EDM, a bit of chart stuff. I guess I like all kinds of music. Ha-ha! And we all know that if you say you like all kinds of music, it really means you don't like any kind of music at all. Not if you can't commit to at least something. Because nobody likes German minimalist techno. Nobody! And this, my friends, is the song that I gave her. And it was a present for her because he'd never understand it. He'd just think it was overly long, guitar that goes on and on, no obvious lyrics, no obvious melody. And she would think, you know what, I'll always love my husband. But Andrew will always have something that he doesn't have, a taste in music. And Andrew and I will always have that together. And my petty little revenge would prove once and for all that I really am a pathetically immature little man. Dear friends, it's our last song, Lady Madonna by the Beatles. Now, I believe objectively that the Beatles are the best band of all time. They're not my favourites, but I believe they are the best. Who here agrees that they're the best band of all time? Yay! Who doesn't agree? Yeah! Yeah, okay, fair enough. Does anyone care to volunteer who they think is better? I mean, don't be shy, I'm like... Anyone but the Beatles. Goodness, Cannibal Corpse. Those guys who do, I can be the bun and you can be the burger girl and we can make sandwiches. Detroit Grand Poobahs, that's who it is. No, fair enough, but no, Naomi, I want to hear from someone else though. But I do love your enthusiasm. Anyone else care to volunteer in another band?
The Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones are an interesting choice. Now, a lot of people would agree. The Rolling Stones had obviously great songs, but the Beatles had great albums. Comparing the Rolling Stones to the Beatles, I think, is like comparing cheese to chocolate. Now, cheese is great. It's got some solid hits, especially with the blues, yeah? But after a while, cheese goes off, becomes unpalatable, and you can't help but think somebody should have thrown it out quite some time ago. And it certainly shouldn't still be touring. Chocolate's always good. Even when it gets old, it goes a bit white, and you pop it in the microwave, you melt it down, and you throw some rice bulbs in there, you got chocolate crackles. Woo! Which I don't think that's a metaphor for the Beatles anymore. I don't know. But fair enough. They do. And obviously Stones have some great albums. Elvis as well. Some people say Elvis. Elvis is great. Elvis got great songs, but did he write those songs? No. And then people be like, oh, by the way, Elvis swivels his hips, he changed the world, you know. But I can swivel my hips too. Does this make me the greatest artist of all time? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Thank you. And the Beatles were fearless in their experimenting. Like, some people are like, oh, Radiohead, they're so fearless in their experimenting. But Radiohead often stuff up and make stuff as difficult to listen to as my grandmother eating linguine. But the Beatles, they experimented. They almost always got it right, except for Revolution 9, which is the exception, which proves the rule, which is a phrase which obviously makes no sense at all. And they did it all. I'm the Walrus, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, A Day in the Life, Rocky Raccoon, all of it, without ever resorting to taking drugs, ever. Genius. Now, I wanted to finish the show with a sing-along to All You Need Is Love, but I spoke to the Beatles' copywriting body, and they said if I did that, I would definitely be sued. And I wondered why, because I'm like, well, the Beatles who are alive have plenty of money. Those who are dead don't care. And then I read an article by Carl Sagan, the famous space fella. And Carl Sagan was talking about the Voyager space mission, which is going out further than any craft that humanity has made out into the galaxy. And on board it is books and plates and diagrams and a golden record. And the Beatles were asked to put a song onto that record. They chose Here Comes the Sun, which is a far more appropriate choice than I Am the Walrus, which would have just confused whatever aliens came across it. Because that's the thing, this is designed to run into aliens, this craft. But although the Beatles agreed, the people who owned their copyright didn't agree, and so their song was never pressed onto that record. And so if space aliens, who may or may not exist, can't get the rights to play Beatles songs, it seems simply churlish of me to think that I could. However, there is an artist very happy for me to use their song. He went to school with Barbra Streisand. He wrote a lot of songs for the Monkees. He is named after a compressed form of carbon. I'm, of course, talking about Neil Diamond. Well done, guys. Well done. So this is the volunteer sing-along. It's the end of the show, really. I'd love you to join in with the chorus. I've got the lyrics written down on the thing. But if you want, you can just join in on the ba, 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 if that's too much. I absolutely love doing this show. I want to thank you all for coming. I do love doing this show, but I love doing it even more to people. So please tell your friends. I have such an empty Easter weekend coming up. Because everyone wants to go on holiday. And, you know, you can tempt your friends by saying, not only is it a good show, it'll be a very intimate 7-person audience. And we can have a wonderful time together and get everybody's individual position on bands they think are better than the Beatles. But in the meantime, I want to thank you all so much for coming. We're going to do this sing-along, and then I'm going to wave goodbye. But you have been a genuinely wonderful audience. Thank you, Naomi, for getting into it. Thank all of you who spoke. Thank you for laughing so hard. God bless you. I love that laugh. All right. Are you guys ready to do this sing-along? Let's hit it. When this began, I came out on stage dancing. You wanted putting your finance in, this was wrong. Now we're at the end, and if you don't know someone named Caroline, you'll find this a more relevant sing-along. I'm talking spools, touching spools. I'm talking about a mixtape. But if you were born after 1990, you'd have no clue. Here we go! 6K for mine. Ba, ba, ba. There were bits that were quite good. Oh, thank you. I did try. Music sublime. Ba, ba, ba. Picking songs I know I should, but now I know that I'm hot. I'm hot because I'm hot. And you are not because you're not hot. I know I'm hot because I was told on Twitter 2 out of 17,000 gay men can't be wrong. They want hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, but I hope I'm already touching you emotionally. 6K for mine, remember to like and subscribe. Subscribe. Sweet child of mine, is another song we like. All right, I'll do it next time, guys. Guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope we meet again, whether it be in a mega club or a scout hall. And remember, no matter who you are or what you do to live, thrive and survive, music makes us all the same. 6K from mine, I hope my diction was understood. Dustin, I feel inclined, to recommend it like I should. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. You have been wonderful. Please tell your friends. A curly whirly bar. Thank you. Tell your friends. I'm on till Sunday. Good night, everybody. Thank you.